Hi, this is Jim with Regenerate, Don't Degenerate, part of Hardiness Approach. Apologize for yesterday's video. Thought we could do it live. Quality was not where we want it to be. I think it has to do a little bit with our internet connection here. We're going to figure out the live thing eventually. We're going to be upgrading internet, but that's not yet. That's a ways down the road, it sounds like. Anyway, let's get started today. Let's start moving. Remember, if we're setting, we're doing our movements while we're setting. We're getting ourselves warmed up. We want to be ready that we can start doing some exercises here that will get our muscles doing what we want our muscles to do and our joints to do what we want our joints to do. And we keep moving. Now, if you're just getting started, I suggest you just look at doing this 3 times a day. You can set and watch the other one, maybe do a little bit, but your body does need to rest and recuperate. You're not used to these kinds of things, and trying to do them every day can get you worn out, can get you to the point that you may injure yourself. Your muscles that you haven't been using, when you use them, you're going to injure them a little bit. That's what causes that soreness after exercising. And they need some time to recuperate. A day should be enough. If you find that it's not, give yourself a little bit more. But then find your pace. Find what you have to do so that you can exercise consistently. Keep at that pace. And every now and then, try to increase it a little bit to where you're, instead of exercising twice a week or once a week, increase it by one more. Or cut down how much time between your exercise sessions till you get to the point that you can exercise every day. All the recommendations are that you have to exercise often and at a pace that can actually make some differences. And that pace is sometimes when we haven't been exercising, that pace can be challenging. So I'm going to do some side steps, kind of break this up a little bit. So if you find yourself to the point that, hey, Jim, what you're doing is really easy, then you're ready to pick it on up. Now, if you're not joining into this the first time that it's out there on its publication date and you're joining in later, start at the first, unless you've been exercising a lot. And then, maybe you don't need me, but maybe I've got some ideas that can help too. So join on in, see where we are. The further we go into this, the more of these I get recorded, the more advanced I get. We'll still have these basic ones available for you, so you can go in and see them. But the more advanced ones, you'll be able to tune into as you become more advanced. But don't try to take yourself further than you need to go. Go faster than you need to go. Do more than you need to do. My intention is to get this going long enough that I get into progressions that are pretty advanced, but not everybody's going to go that far. Some of you may find a pace and an exercise routine that fits you, accomplishes all your goals, and puts you where you need to be for what you want to accomplish. And that's great. If that's all you ever do, that's fantastic. Some of you may find that this warm-up is all you need to do. That's fine too. As long as you have been moving more than you've been doing. Now, one thing I want to address is individuals who may have some kind of a situation, homestead, large yard, big garden, some activities that keep you physically doing things a lot. That's great. I'm going to submit to you that you're probably fairly repetitive You've probably found some ways of doing those tasks that they're not outrageously difficult. Now I know yesterday we were shoveling our walkway. What we have is a driveway. What we have is a 90-foot driveway, and at the beginning and end it's pretty wide. So 90 feet of snow shoveling a driveway, for those of you who've done it or more or similar, is a lot. It's a lot of work. It was quite a workout. I'm going to submit to you, if that's all we ever did, there's going to be some movements, some muscles, some joints that really never get worked out. And I question that our posture was right all the time as well. So while that's good exercise and not inappropriate, and certainly you should do it cautiously so that you don't overextend yourself, but it's those kinds of vigorous activity that, while they're beneficial to you, and you can count them as your aerobic exercise potentially, you're really not getting to all your muscle groups and working them in a way that you keep them balanced. And that's where the problem comes in. Some of the jobs like that where you're very repetitive, there's one set of your muscle groups, pairs, that's going to get worked a lot and the other probably not at all. And if that's all you ever do, eventually you're going to be stronger on one side than you are on the other of your muscle group, your muscle pair, and as a result of that, you're going to have a deviated posture. You're going to have pains because you're pulling yourself one direction or the other, and you're putting strains on your muscles when you're just normally sitting, standing, whatever you might be doing. So that's the advantage of exercise, is in the process of doing a full body, all your muscle groups, muscle pairs being exercised together. And we haven't got there. That's a little more advanced than where we are right now, but we're going to get there. We're moving in that direction. But if you don't exercise those muscle pairs, that's where a lot of the aches and pains come from. So even people who are very active doing a lot of things, if they don't do the right sets of exercises, they can find themselves with those typical aches and pains that happen with time. So yes, that's an issue. Yes, that's something we need to do. So we're going to reverse things a little bit today. We're going to go bottom to top. Pretty much the same routine as yesterday. We're just going to do it in a different direction. So because we're starting with our bottom here, actually we totally start this way. Let's go up on our toes, up on our heels, up on our toes, up on our heels, up on our toes, up on our heels, up on our toes, up on our heels. Now if this is too many for you, back off, don't do as many. What Jim's doing right now is getting himself exercised for today, getting into the routine. So I'm doing as much as I need to do. For those of you who have been exercising or in relatively good shape, this probably works out for you. For those of you who aren't, it doesn't. Now, the deviation here for this, or the adaptation for the chairs, just go ahead and do the same kind of motion. You don't have the weight, but you're getting the movements, and that's great. You can't see me, can you? Let me move back. Hopefully you can see me now. So pick up those toes, pick up those heels, pick up those toes, pick up those heels. Now the next thing we're going to do is just kind of rock our feet. In fact, when you're sitting, you can do both at once, so you can kind of pick up the pace. If you're standing, you probably can't pick both your feet up off the ground at the same time. Now let's twirl them around. Let's go the other direction. I'm not very good at the twirling around. So we're rocking them back and forth. A little bit more motion that we started with the weight on them. Because we don't have the weight, we can probably move them a little bit better. Other way around. I don't have very good coordination in my feet, but this is how you start building it. And that's important that we start building it. Sorry, I had to look at the camera. It was doing a little bit of funny things that was shown on the screen. So, okay, now we're going to do some lunges. And this is where you're going to go out just a little bit, one foot, out with the other, kind of rock on it. Now we're going to progress this eventually to where we're going out further, we're dipping deeper, and we're going to go other directions as well. That comes with time. What we're doing right now is we're getting these motions in place so that we can get used to them, get those muscles worked up to where we're eventually going to be. We don't want to do it in such a way that we really put a strain on them. When we progress them, it'll be slight. Any muscle discomfort will be minimal. That's the intention. I'd like to promise there'll be none. Depends on how hard you push yourself. If you've been totally sedentary, I submit to you it's probably impossible to start doing movements without having a little bit of pain. If you have been doing some amount of exercising, then this little bit that we're doing right now may not be a problem for you at all. You may not be having any pain. So now I haven't had any since I started this series, so these movements aren't hurting me because my body's been used to those movements, and that's great. That's where I'd like to be. That's where I think if you don't push yourself hard, that I'll be able to keep you during this whole process. Is we'll build you from these simple things we're doing up into very complex exercises, very some resistance weight kinds of exercises that will really get your muscles strengthened, get your bones starting to regenerate a bit. That's the intention here. And as in the process of that, if you're eating correctly, this thing around here is going to shrink down on you, which is what you want. I'm not going to talk about weight because I'm hoping I can add some muscle weight and some bone weight onto you. Those are important things. So your weight may not go down, but if this goes away, then you're going to be great. Okay, now let's keep in mind, I'm doing the middle thing, but the other part of the middle is let's keep this core engaged. Let's keep ourselves standing upright, up straight. Keep that in mind. Just keep thinking about that. So we're going to do some squats. I'm going to go down just a little bit. We're going to work this up to eventually we can go down further. I want you to think about something. As we're doing these movements, the center of your mass, the center point of your body, your balance point, is changing and moving around. And as you do that, you create a bit of a situation to where your body's got to compensate. You've got to watch your balance. So as we're doing some simple movements, not going far, we're increasing what we normally do, and our body's having to work with that. But all of our muscles, the different muscle pairs, are having to get together and work to keep you from tipping over. Now that's why I suggest when you're doing these kinds of motions, if you need it, you've got a chair sitting here to keep yourself balanced. Because if you don't have that, you can tend to tip while you're going up and down without knowing it. And if you get too far, you tip over and it bottoms up at that point. And you don't want to do that. You want to keep yourself upright as much as you possibly can. It's important that we don't be falling. When we fall, what happens? We injure parts of our body that take a long time to heal, a little bit of rehab going on there, and as a result, we're not exercising and we can go downhill, and we don't want to be there. We want to keep ourselves strong, healthy, balanced, flexible, capable of taking care of ourselves and sustainably living in place. This is a big part of us, to keep ourselves there. Okay, we're going to do some trunk twists. So we're going to do these first ones core engaged without twisting at the waist. That's twisting our legs. We want to twist our trunk. So we're going to keep this part of us in place, and we're just going to be twisting our back, okay? So you can't go as far, but the point isn't to twist that trunk right now. We're going to do that in just a little bit, but right now we're just moving that trunk around, okay? Keeping that trunk moving. Now you may need to slow these down a little bit if this is too fast for you. I'm trying to get a lot into the time that I'm on here, and I'm going at my pace. If you can't keep up with my pace, that's great. Just keep up with your pace and keep at it. Get yourself worked up here to where you can do this every day eventually. Now we're going to go all the way around. So we're going to be twisting here at the trunk, okay? So you can do that simply hands on hips if you want. I'm going to go all the way around, so I pull myself around a little bit. Whoops, got an ankle popping there. So we're getting a little bit more motion, but it's different part of our body that's motion. Like I said, we're moving top to bottom to top today. So we kind of reversed things around on us, didn't we? So how are we feeling? And I can feel like I'm getting a little bit of a workout. Of course, I think it's warm. Our heater has come on in the house this morning, so it's warming it up. And as I'm exercising, guess what happens when you exercise? Your body temperature goes up. That's another idea during this cold time of the year. When you start feeling cold, but you might want to dress a little bit for it as well. But get up and do some exercises. Raise your temperature from the inside. Burn up some of that fuel that you've been storing and let it warm you up a bit. That's a great way to warm up, right? So the next thing we're going to do is, for those of you who are setting, we're going to be letting ourselves lean forward. We're opening up our back so we can do that from the sitting position. Those of us are standing, feet about a little over shoulder width apart, flexing at the knees, and we're just letting ourselves hang down. We're letting ourselves hang down. Now we're going to work up to something else from this. This is a great starting point. It's getting our back opened up a bit, more capable, a little bit more flexible. Let it hang down. Let it hang down here a bit. A little bit more. It's going to release and let you go further. If you find yourself going down further, that's fine. Let yourself go as low as you can. Maybe it's just this far, that's fine. Now, when we get finished, when we come up, we want to do it slowly. Depending on how far you went, you may have had your head below your heart. So your blood situation is, there's going to be more in your head than you're used to. And as it runs out of your head, you get that sensation of spinning around. This is where you may need to be grabbing onto chairs, so keep them close at hand, but come up without going too fast and getting yourself going crazy. So, okay, let's do some of those arm raises here. We're just going to raise them up a bit. The other day we were spinning them around. That's advantageous. We're just doing some up raises here. We're going to do it from a couple different positions. It's important we get our arms going for us, get them used to moving in a couple different patterns so that we have that movement capability, we have that muscle strength to be able to do some of what we want to do. So let's go to the front now. Pick them up to the front. See, these are nice and simple. These aren't really overly difficult. And this is how it's going to be. You exercise with me. If you try to jump to day 105 from day one, you could have some challenges there. But if you go with me and progress along with me, when you get to day 105, when you get to day 365, you're going to be doing so much more than you're doing right now. And you're going to be like, wow, Jim, this is easy. Whereas today, if I tried to get you to do those things, you'd say, forget it. I'm turning this off. This is a waste of my time. I can't. He's way beyond where I want to go. So, okay. So let's take our arms over our heads. We're going to do these extensions. So they're to the back and we're pulling them up. This is going to work a little bit on right here. Now remember, we're keeping this core engaged. Please, please, please keep this core engaged. And I didn't show you my water. This is probably a good time as we finish this one. Let's go ahead and let's have a drink of water. Let me grab it over here. I left it setting over here. Sorry about that. Once again, I'm asking that if you need medication for heart or other parts of your body that keep you from having problems, please take those far enough beforehand, if it's pain medication, whatever it might be, so that you can get on top and get ahead of your pain and not have it be a problem. And also, before we begin, great time to drink up with some water. I'm having you drink it right now. It's something we need to do all along. It's absolutely essential that we be taking those drinks of water. So let's do some of these movements here. Pulling these muscles up. I have one more motion I'm going to add in here, which is a great one. I see that we have time to fit it in. We're getting a little bit better on how fast we go through things. And if I'm pushing you too fast, then pause the video. That's what you're able to do by watching this video. And take a rest. You know, between sets of exercises, if you need to rest, that's perfectly fine. You know, I wouldn't do it for more than 2 minutes, and then over time you can decrease that. There is an advantage of getting yourself to the point that between sets of exercises there is no time. It becomes more aerobic. You can get a lot more done, yes, that's part of it. And the other part of it is you push yourself aerobically. But you got to be ready for that. If you're not to that point, then you need to be pausing between sets for up to 2 minutes. I wouldn't go past 2 minutes. And then as you find that that's easy, you can decrease it to 1.5 minutes, and then 1 minute, and then 45 seconds, then 30 seconds, and just keep dropping it down as it feels good. So here's this other exercise. We're going to bend a little bit here at the waist. Now we kind of stick ourselves out here. We don't just want to bend over in a slump position. We want to keep ourselves to where our core is engaged. This is sticking out a little bit. We're going to put our arms back like this. We have them both. As you can see, both sides about the same. And then we're going to bring just we're not going to bend at our shoulder, just at our elbow. And we're going to do these things. This is really good for these muscles back here. So if you have a lot of problems with there being stuff that just kind of hangs down there, this is not going to make the fat go away, but this is going to begin to tone up those muscles. Fat is lost not in the area that you're exercising, but it starts in here first and works to overall eventually. So don't think that we can exercise a certain area and drop the fat off of there. We have to change our diet, and we have to have a consistent exercise routine that really burns up all of our excess energy stores, and that's what they really are. Our body is storing up that energy for the future, and sometimes it stores up way more than what we need, and then we want to work it off. But it's by doing energy burning exercises that we're going to do that. Okay, we're going to do a double shoulder roll, rolling our shoulders back, kind of working on up the chain, aren't we? From toe to top of our head. We're on our way here. Let's reverse the direction of that shoulder roll. What you're going to find as you do all of these exercises that at first you may have limited motion that you can do, but as we go on, you're going to find that it gets to be more and more and more, which is great, which is where we want it to be. So let's pick up those shoulders, pick them up. Now once again, if you find yourself slumping, your hands kind of turning to this way and coming to the front, let's get those shoulders back. Let's keep that conscience that that's what we're doing. Let's keep this core tight, right? Get that core the way we want it to be. And it is helping us get ourselves ready. We're standing up straight, right? We're standing up straight, or if we're setting straight, okay? We're not trying to slump over and lean back. This is not an exercise like that. Someone will have us doing some other kinds of motions. We'll get there. We'll do them in the course of everything that we do, okay? We're almost home here. Let's take our head to the right. Let's hold it over there. Let's keep ourselves standing up straight, shoulders back, core engaged, and let's turn our head over this way and let's kind of let it sit there. We're stretching out, so it's a bit isometric, working on these muscles over here, trying to push our head over for us, okay? Let's keep it there a little bit longer, a little bit longer. Let's go to the left side now. And we're working on those others. Remember, we're letting our shoulders relax, but we are keeping them back. I know that sounds a little bit, can I really do that? Well, at first, everything is more challenging. And as you repetitively do these movements, you're going to find that they become less challenging over time. And they'll be easier for you to accomplish what I'm talking about. But right now, we're thinking about letting our arms relax, our shoulders relax, bring your head back up to the middle, and we're not holding ourselves tense. Some of the movements we have to tense up for certain things, and I'm asking you to tense this part, but I'm asking you to let this part relax when you're not using it. You don't need it. It's going to tire you out, and it's not doing you any good. It's probably actually pulling your posture the wrong way. So let's step our head back. It's going to be harder for me to talk like this. Let's keep it back. Let's keep our posture right, our core engaged in here. One thing that I haven't been mentioning is while we're exercising, you want to keep breathing. So nice steady breaths. I haven't focused on how to breathe and the importance of it. It's just kind of a natural thing that we do. If I told you to hold your breath, bring your head up to the center there again, you probably wouldn't be able to hold your breath for a long period of time. I mean, it's natural that you're going to breathe, so I don't talk about it. But let's put our heads down, chin to chest. Let's keep our posture upright, our shoulders back, we're standing straight, core engaged, head down. So we're letting that kind of open up in here a bit, keeping us down, helping us on our range of motion. A little bit more and that ought to do it. So how's that? So a little bit of cool, one thing that we didn't do, wow, I forgot this one. This is so important. Let's go back and let's do this one. I'm deviating from the foot to head thing. One foot forward, the other foot back. If you need to have balance, you can splay your feet out a little bit. Can't really see that in the picture, I'm thinking. But you can turn your feet out if you need to. Heel on the ground, push it back, and we're going to hold it there for just a little bit. And we're standing up straight, good posture, core engaged. This is getting these muscles back here to where they're strengthening out. I can feel mine down in my calf. When those are tight and not where they need to be and flexible like they need to be, they tend to pull, not give you the support that you need, and so you tend to lean forward, and when you do that, you're putting pressure on your lower back because it's not in a normal position, and some of your muscles, and that's where a lot of the lower back pain comes from. So this is one exercise that you can do to help take care of that. And sometimes when my back is hurting, if I haven't been exercising, I can or if I've been setting for a long time, I'll do this and it tends to pull me and open me up a little bit. Let's switch sides. I do this one probably more for me than for you today. This may not be as meaningful for you. Okay, heel into the ground, weight pushing back on that rear foot. We're standing up straight, core engaged, and we are breathing, okay? We're breathing as we do this. But I do this for me because I've had some fairly severe lower back pain that I've been able to get under control. Now, if you need the chair, have the chair here that you're hanging on to. I can do this without the chair, so I'm not. But anyway, I encourage you to do that. Okay, we're going to go down here into the child pose. Jim, I'll bring a towel in tomorrow and demonstrate how you use a towel. I can't believe that. But if you need like a towel or a pillow, pop it in here. I can do it without, so I'm able to go all the way down. I'm probably going to go off the picture as I go down. But we're going to go into the child pose, and this is to get us to relax for this last little bit. This opens up our back. This gets us cooling down, relaxing and slowing down as we need to. And this is a posture that's good for a lot of the function of your body. It tends to help open up many parts of your internal organs and get them happy and working together. More about that another time.
But great routine today.
That's today's routine. Thanks for being part of it. I really appreciate it. You're going to appreciate it as you do this more and more, and you find yourself feeling better and better about what you're doing. That's going to happen. In the meantime, like, subscribe, share with others, click on the little bell up here to get notified. And talking about being notified, what I understand is that not all my videos are shared with you, even if you do all of these things. So I'm going to put on my website the ability for you to sign up to get email notifications every time I put out a video with a little description of what it is, so you know this is what I want to watch today, so you can be aware of it. And that helps me keep you informed. We keep together on this, and together we're going to regenerate and get ourselves to where we can live longer, happier, healthier. Thanks for watching. And we want to sustainably live in place.